So, welcome everyone, and thank you. Thank you for listening. So, let's talk about triggers and how we usually talk about them. We talk about managing them, coping with them, avoiding them. We have trigger warnings, trigger lists, trigger protocols. We have apps to track our triggers and strategies to get through them. So, we have made triggers into problems to be solved, obstacles to navigate around, enemies to defeat or at least contain. And look, I understand why. Being triggered is painful. It can derail your day, your relationship, your sense of stability, and of course you want it to stop. But here is what I notice. All this managing, all this coping, all this avoiding, it does not actually make the triggers go away. You get better at working around them, maybe, but they are still there, just waiting. And sometimes, no matter how carefully you manage them, you are flooded again, reactive again, and you're feeling the same old pain again. So, what if we are thinking about this all wrong? What if triggers are not the problem? What if they are the message? What if my triggers are a message? So let me just offer you a different understanding of triggers. A trigger is a present moment experience that activates an old wound. And I'll say this again, a trigger is a present moment experience that activates an old wound. Something happens now. A word, a tone, a situation, and it touches something from then. A place in you that was hurt, that was never fully healed, that is still tender. And when that wound is touched, your nervous system responds. It does not respond to what is happening now. It responds to what happened then. That is why the reaction feels disproportionate, because it is not about the present situation, it is about the old wound. Now, here is what's remarkable in all this. Triggers are very precise. So what triggers you is not random. It is specific. It points directly at the wound. So, as an example, I don't know you personally, but if you're triggered by criticism, there is possibly a wound around being judged that you're carrying, not being good enough, perhaps early experiences where criticism meant loss of love. If you're triggered by somebody ignoring you, there is possibly a wound around not being seen, not mattering, or again perhaps early experiences of neglect or invisibility. If you're triggered by conflict, there might be a wound around safety, perhaps early experiences where conflict was dangerous. So the trigger is not the problem. The trigger is the indicator. It is pointing at something in you that needs attention. And that something is not an abstract. It is a part of you. It might be a younger you, it might be a wounded you, or it might be a version of you that carries that particular pain. So when you're triggered, that part is not trying to ruin your day. It is trying to be seen. It is saying, this is where I'm hurt. Please pay attention. Please do not walk past me again. Now I want you to think about triggers not as malfunctions but as communication. See, there are different parts of you, different aspects of your psyche that carry different experiences, different emotion, different ages. Some of these parts are wounded. They carry pain from the past that was never fully processed and never fully healed. So these wounded parts do not have many ways to get your attention. They cannot send you an email, they cannot book a Teams meeting with you, and they cannot sit you down and explain what they need. But they can get triggered. So when something in the present resembles something from the past, and I'll say this again, when something in the present resembles something from the past, and when the pattern matches, the wounded part activates. It floods you with emotion, its perspective, and its pain. And suddenly you're not a 40-year-old adult responding to a minor comment from your partner. You are a 7-year-old responding to your father's criticism. Same wound, same pain, different decade. So this is not a malfunction. This is the part saying, see me. This is the wound saying, heal me. The problem is not that you have triggers. The problem is that we have been taught to manage them, to suppress them, to work around them. Everything except listen to them. So imagine if every time someone tried to tell you something important, you put on noise-cancelling headphones and develop coping strategies for their voice. So that is essentially what we do with our wounded parts. And there's a lot of noise outside which will support this. So no wonder they keep trying. No wonder the triggers do not go away, because the message has not been received. So here is the radical reframe that I want to offer. Your triggers are doorways to healing. Not obstacles, not problems, but doorways. Every trigger is showing you exactly where there is a wound that needs attention. Every intense reaction is a map to a part that is carrying the pain. If you learn to follow the map instead of running from it, you find places in yourself that need healing. So instead of coping, you can get curious. Instead of managing, you can meet. Instead of avoiding the trigger, you can follow it to its source. And when you do that, when you actually meet the wounded part, listen to it, and acknowledge its pain, something shifts. The part does not need to scream so loud because it has finally been heard. The trigger loses some of its charge because the wound has been tended to. And please remember, this is not a one-time fix. Wounds are layered. Wounds have possibly been hiding, suppressed in your subconscious for longer than you've started to see them. So it might take time for them to come up, to heal, to shift. But each time you turn towards it instead of away from it, there is some healing, there is some space, and there is some freedom. So funny thing is, the path to being less triggered is not avoiding triggers. It is walking through them at your own pace, towards them, into them. Right into the wound is where the healing actually happens. So what do these wounded parts actually need? So it's usually not what we think. They do not need us to fix the situation. They do not need the other person to change. They do not need to never encounter that trigger again. they just need to be seen, they need to be heard, and they need to know they are not alone in their pain anymore. So what does this look like? In practice, it looks like turning towards the triggered part with curiosity and compassion. It looks like acknowledging, I see you. I see that you're hurting. I see that this touched something old. I know that you don't feel safe. It also looks like listening. What happened to you? What did you experience? And what do you need me to know? It also looks like offering presence. I am here with you. You are not alone with this anymore. So, in essence, the wise, conscious, aware, adult part of you shows up for the wounded you. The part that has been carrying pain in isolation finally has company. The wound that has been ignored is finally being witnessed. And that is healing. Not fixing, not solving, but witnessing. Presence. The simple but profound act of turning towards what hurts instead of away from it. So, in a moment, I am going to guide you through a practice of working with a trigger. We are going to take something that might have triggered you recently. And remember, not the most intense thing you can think of, just something that got a reaction. And instead of managing it today, we are going to try to meet it. We are going to find the part that got activated, listen to it, and offer it the presence that it has been asking for. And this might bring up some emotion, and that's okay. That is the part finally being heard. So find a comfortable position and just let my words guide you. Take this as just you spending a few moments with your body and listening. Eyes open, eyes closed, wherever you are. Just let yourself arrive here for a moment. And start to feel your body, your breath, and the support beneath you. And take a moment to settle now. There's no rush. Connect with a sense of ground. You are safe. You are here. And you are present. You are safe. You are here. And you are present. Now gently bring to mind something that triggered you recently. Not the biggest thing, but something manageable. A moment when you reacted more intensely than the situation seemed to warrant. Now it might be something your friend said, your partner said, your boss said, a small incident that hit you harder than it should have. And just bring it to mind lightly. You do not have to go deep into it. And as you bring this to mind, just notice what happens in your body. Where do you feel this reaction? chest, stomach, throat, shoulders, or somewhere else. What is the quality of this feeling? Is it tight, hot, heavy, or shaky? Whatever you are aware of right now, that might be the trigger activating, or that might be the part showing up in your body, just as it is. Now, instead of trying to calm it down or make it go away, I want you to get curious about it. Imagine this reaction as a part of you, a version of you that carries this particular wound. If it's comfortable, you can maybe take a hand on that place where you feel this. And now, as you get curious with it, how old does this part feel? And trust whatever comes, nothing has to come. We are just exploring. Where in your body does this part seem to live? And remember, you do not have to see it clearly. Just sense it. Just sense it. Now, turn towards this part with compassion. Not to fix it, just to acknowledge it. And we'll do this with some body dialogue. So we'll say to this part, you can either just receive my words, or you can say them out loud, or repeat them silently. I see you. I know you're here. I know something touched a wound. I see you. I know you are here. I know something touched a wound. And just feel, sense, and see if there's any response to this acknowledgement. Nothing has to happen. I am just witnessing. I am just listening. I am just aware. And now we go back to the part again. What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you? And just listen. Some of you might get words, images, colors, emotions, feelings, memories, tingles, warmth, or you might get nothing. All of it is okay. All of it is okay. Now offer this part your presence. Once again we say, I am here with you now. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. I see your pain, and I am not turning away. I am here with you now. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. I see your pain, and I am not turning away. And just let the part receive this. It may not trust you immediately. It may not trust you at all today. And that is okay. You're planting a seed. Let's just be with this for a few seconds. Now just thank this part for communicating with you. Thank you for showing me where the wound is. I will keep listening. You are not just a trigger to be managed. You are a part of me that matters. You are not a trigger to be managed. You are a very sacred part of me that really matters. Now gently let the intensity soften. You do not have to resolve anything right now. Slowly, gently, just bring your attention back to your breath, to your body, to your feet, to the support beneath you, wherever you were. And take a deeper breath for me now. And if your eyes were closed, you can open them now. So welcome back. So you have just done something different with a trigger. Instead of managing it, you met it. Instead of coping, you listened. So this is the beginning of a different relationship with your triggers. One where they are not enemies to be defeated, rather messengers to be heard. So the next time you're triggered, and there will be a next time, you have a choice. You can manage, avoid, cope, or you can just acknowledge and get curious. You can simply ask, what part of me just got activated? What wound is being touched? What is this part trying to show me? And you do not have to do this every time. Sometimes you just need to get through the day. But when you have space, when you have willingness, turn inwards, go back to it. Over time, as you meet these parts, as you listen to their messages, the triggers feel safer in your body, in your nervous system, and they start to lose their charge or intensity. Not because you avoided them successfully, but because the wound has been tended, the part has been heard. So, your triggers are not your enemy. They are your wounded parts speaking to you. They are showing you exactly where you need to heal. Listen to them. They might have been waiting for a long time. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be your guide. And until next time, namaste.